So I've been using Claude for a couple of months now to run parts of my business. But the problem is that there isn't really an easy way to see all of the work the agents are doing, especially if you're using sub-agents and agent teams. So I created AgentFlow, which is a VS Code plugin that transforms the Claude Code chat into visual notes. If you're someone that's used to N8N, Make, or Zapier, and you like visual interfaces where you can see exactly which node is working at what point, but now change to agentic workflows because they're much more powerful, but they do lack visibility, then AgentFlow might be useful for you since it's combining the best of both worlds. You have the power of agentic workflows and the visibility of a visual interface such as N8N. If you're just using one main agent, then you can typically just read through the chat history and you get a pretty good idea of the work the agent has been doing. But it's kind of tedious and you also need some technical knowledge to really fully understand what's going on. But if you use sub-agents or agent teams, then those usually run in the background, so the chat is hidden. So typically you will just see a message from the main agent saying, I'll send you an update once the sub-agents are done. Visualizing your agentic workflows is really useful if you're using skills because they have a very defined path and output format. So if you, for example, have a skill that produces websites, then let's say first you scrape the old website, you extract the brand assets, you do some sort of copywriting and then put it all together to create a new website. And with AgentFlow, you can see exactly which path all of the different agents took and where they diverted from the skill MD. And this is really meant to generate trust in the final output of AI agents. Now, if you're creating a new feature and you're really just interested in the final output of the agent and you're kind of iterating back and forth with Claude until you have exactly what you're looking for, then you might not be interested in how you got there. But if you're invoking a skill and you want to verify every step, for example, have the correct documents been read, to have the correct context, have the right tools been called, have any errors occurred on the way, then having visual notes really helps you to spot issues early on, which then reduces hallucinations and therefore increases the overall quality of the work. There's just one quick note before we get started. There are a lot of in the upcoming presentation, so please excuse that. I really did my best for my first video. Yeah. Okay, so let's start from scratch. I'm going to invoke the OS brand website creator skill for this lovely doggy daycare, so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to send this off and then you will see that the main agent node appears here, which then calls the skill. And this little overlay here on the top left appears, which includes all of the steps in a summarized way that are in the skill MD. And each dot here represents one step, basically. And once a step has been completed, as you can see here, it turns green. So the first step was to gather input and validate the prerequisites. So it's going to ask me here a couple of questions. Let's just go for the top options, and let's just do the home page for now. And we want the playful variant. Okay, so once this is done, it's going to continue. It has everything that's needed. And what it will do now is spawn sub-agents to do the work. And as I mentioned before, normally you can't see the exact work that sub-agents are doing unless they run in the foreground. But whatever is going on in the background, and there can only be one agent running in the foreground. So whatever runs in the background, you just can't see. So it's gonna spawn 2 sub-agents in parallel, which will appear here now once it has all the information it needs. Okay, so here's the first one, which is meant to extract the brand assets. And as you can see, this skill, the OS, and OS in my dictionary means orchestrating, because this is an orchestrating skill, which means it calls many other skills to produce its final output. So now this orchestrating skill called the brand identity extractor skill, which was called on by a sub-agent here, and then also the scraper skill, which was called on here. And those ones have a list of steps to follow, which again are defined in the skill MD, well, in their skill MD. So imagine having to make sure, like a big skill, such as the brand website creator skill, which calls on a lot of other skills. So having to make sure all of those skills follow and do what they're supposed to do is just extremely difficult to do. So having this visual interface actually makes it much easier. So let's just scroll down a little bit. You can see a couple of different things. You have a little legend here. The type of nodes you can see are the agent responses. So if you click on them, and mind you, you can't really see anything here, right? You don't know what's going on at all if you just look at the main chat, but there's a lot happening in both sub-agents. So if we look at the brand identity extractor, you can see it just downloaded and resized the logo, and that's a tool. Then it also has the read tool, the write tool. It has a decision tool and a skill tool. So we can already, for example, now click here, great, on the logo that it extracted. And we also have the option to actually filter. So if we, let's say, only want to see, let's say, to make it very non-technical, we only want to have a look at the agent responses, which are, you know, kind of natural language responses. Then we could just have a look here at the last one, and let me see, oops, it looks like this one finished. And oh, it hasn't quite finished. It still has to create the output file, which makes sense because here the brand identity extractor skill isn't done yet. The next one, sorry, the scraper skill is also still running. Also keep in mind what I did here is to make sure that you can always see the last node. So even if you have a filter on to only show agent responses, the last node is always shown anyways. So let me just take those ones out for now. So here now we can see it created the brand identity MD. So if we click on it, then this is literally all we need to have a good idea of what this brand is about, what colors they use, the typography, letter spacing, line heights, all of the good stuff that we want to know when we create a website. And then the scraper skill, of course, is very important as well to actually get all of the information out from that website, right? To actually write the content later on. And here you can now see both skills actually finished. So they're all green. There weren't any errors. Actually, we can see here that it deleted some files, but hopefully nothing to see. Oh yeah, I think it was just some some cleanup files, so that should be fine. And then again, all of the information was sent to the main agent, which then also ticked off those steps up here. But it's going to keep going. So we're going to move on now to the next one, which is the brand, to get the brand guidelines. I am not 100% sure if this is a skill as well. Oh yeah, it is. Now that's the brand guidelines generator skill. And as you can see, again, another overlay appeared. It's going to do exactly the same. It's going to go through everything step by step. Now, typically you can't just run all of them in parallel because some depend on the output of the previous sub-agents, right? So this skill here needs I think it needs information from those previous skills to do its job. So let's just run through this. So while this is running, a couple of more features I'd like to show you. So there's this button here, follow, which basically means wherever a new node pops up, the center of the screen moves to. So I feel nothing is happening. Let me just double check that nothing is happening. Okay. So there's an agent response. So as soon as a new node should pop up, this screen should move. And I really included this to make sure whenever you leave and you actually want to make sure something is still happening. I think Claude is having some issues today because it says not responding. And even this morning when I was running Claude Cowork, it just didn't work properly. So that's clearly a Claude issue and unfortunate to happen in my live demo. But let's just wait. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, now it follows the nodes step by step. And that's exactly what we wanted, so that's great. I did show you the filter and I have a little debug field here because basically the way this works is I have one agent that reads through all of those sub-agent nodes, and then it basically checks what has been done. So it's actually AI answering, okay, based on all of those nodes, has this been done? Has this been done? Has it been skipped? And then the only one that works slightly differently is the main agent, because here so much information is kind of coming together that I used Claude, which is connected here via the Claude API, to specifically read the agent responses to check whether things have been done. Because the main agent isn't really using a lot of tools. It's just orchestrating everything. The sub-agents are, doing the heavy lifting. That's why within a sub-agent, I made sure that every single node is being read. And in the main agent, it's really just the agent responses. Okay, so this is almost done now. And let me just unfollow this. This is good if you just have kind of one thing happening at a time. If you have 2 or 3 sub-agents all working at the same time, then this can become quite messy because it then just jumps from side to side. You do have a checklist here as well, right? But this to-do list here might not be exactly what you have in your skill MD. And I mean, here, actually, it has only kind of goes to step 7, and here we go all the way to step 16. So it is good that Claude has those to-dos, but it doesn't guarantee that it's following the skill MD to the letter. Okay, so we're moving on to the next step. Another workflow overlay has been created. And while this is just working, I would like to show you the nodes in a little bit more detail. So if we, let's say, have a look at this one. So what happens is the main agent sends a prompt to spawn a sub-agent. So this is basically what you would do if you wanted to just start a new chat. But the prompt is not coming from you, but it's actually coming from the main agent. And then based on this, it gives you like the initial response, like, okay, I'm going to think about it. And then you can see all the tools it's using. So it's reading some stuff like the brand guidelines MD, which is of course very important. It reads stuff that it just created from before, like from the scraper. Then, it's thinking about it. This is usually, again, the agent response is usually the text you can easily see on the chat interface, but only from the main agent. And of course, you can see the bash commands and all of this, but I just don't find it super clear and helpful, I have to say. I'd much rather just look at those notes, and if I need more detail, then I can just click on one. And I actually created two fields. I've got the original here, but then I also got the AI one, which basically is just an AI interpretation of the original node. Then you can see all the work that's happening here, and I think it's done and sent it. Oh, sorry, it's almost done. Yeah, it's still doing a little bit of work. But it already started with the next one, the copywriting part. So this surely, yes, has a skill as well, and there it is. So, and this is what I mean from before. So imagine you have to keep an eye on all of those skills, making sure all of them do what they're supposed to do. And it's just really, really difficult, to first of all, to just have a good overview, and second of all, to even know what they're doing if the chat is hidden, right? At the end of the day, you don't know what documents they read to get this outcome and what tools they used. And with AgentFlow, you can just see it, right? And again, I find this very helpful, especially if you want to know which documents have been deleted, right? Which have been created or written, and have there been any errors? So here we can see, which one is this? This is the scraper sub-agents. Yeah, scraper agents always cause issues, I find. You can see it ran into an issue here, but at the same time, it also found a resolution. So that's what I built in as well. So if an error occurs, it shows it, but it updates the node automatically once or as soon as the agent found a resolution or a way around it. So let's say you want to start a completely new task, right? Or a new chat. So you can do that. So let's say we want to create an image, invoke the image creator skill, generate a random image. Okay, so now you can see here I have this little scan button activated, which means it automatically scans for new chats. So if I shoot this off, then yeah, there you go. It creates another tab. So this is now specifically for the image generator skill, which is a much easier skill. It's essentially just one. But what I can do is I could click on this little icon here, bam, and then it actually makes the skill global. So imagine you have several complicated skills and you just want to have one window where you can see them all. Then this is basically how it would work. So you can just make a overlay global, and then it just shows everywhere. So this would also now obviously then show here, and you can, organize them the way you want. Let's say I only really want to have this one here as a global skill. So yeah, this is how it would look like. Another thing you can do, I didn't show you, is group them. So as of now, I set them automatically to be expanded, but it is actually a little bit tidier if you collapse them or have them collapsed and then just, if you need the details, expand them afterwards. You can do the same with the individual sub-agents to expand them and collapse them, the way you want. Okay, this is probably a good example. Because I said random, some steps were skipped, right? Like to craft the exact prompt details, it didn't ask me for anything, any style techniques. No parameters were really determined, like the aspect ratio, the size, because again, I said random. And in all honesty, the last step here should be ticked off because it has sent this agent response to the main agent, but it hasn't. But you can see if, like, for example, if something were red, it actually did something wrong. Let's see if we're gonna see this somewhere here. Or even in this example now, the copywriting, it clearly skipped a couple of steps. So instead of gathering the page and audience context and establish a voice and tone, it went straight to the right above the fold copy, and then also skipped the right core page section. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it will still do those steps, because sometimes it might not follow the exact order, but it will still catch up to them later on. So let's just wait for now and see how things go. So one thing to notice, if you specifically define in your skill MD, it might actually do it automatically, I'm not sure, to use a foreground sub-agent, then you will see all of the work that's doing. So basically everything here will mirror exactly what's happening on the AgentFlow interface. But if something is happening in the background, as I mentioned before, then it will be hidden. Okay, I think we are almost there. So it's just local hosting the website, and it might ask me before deploying it, or it will just deploy it straight away. Let's see. But I think it's gonna ask me. Let's see. Oh yeah, here you can see. Sorry, I forgot. It says stopping before deploy, so it should ask me. Well, oh yeah, it hasn't deployed it yet, which is good, but it's now just moving on to the next step, which is the SEO audit and pre-deploy grow. Let's have a quick look at the website it has created so far. All right, so this is it. And it actually got the logo right, which is nice. It's not super visible, so I'd probably change this a little bit, but not bad. Nice animation in the background. Maybe I would change the color scheme a little bit. The navigation bar seems nice as well. Okay, here a nice animation. 10 years of trusted care. Very nice. 0 days minimum required. Okay. Little bit of text. Then we have a timeline and see how the navigation automatically changes. So that's great. That's all working well. Okay. Animal welfare license. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. We don't just watch your dog. We give them a day worth wagging about. Love it. Okay. You have a little step here. Steps. Okay. Q&A. Very good as well. Okay, a couple of reviews, and then the call to action for their Instagram and their email. And I can see here on the bottom left, this is the correct email, or at least it looks correct. And this one actually looks correct as well, but I know from a local host, this typically, it doesn't work. It has to be deployed before this would be working properly. And yeah, I mean, I have to say, overall, it looks really nice. I do feel the color scheme here could be a little bit better. So just for the sake of it, let me just prompt it. Can you change the color scheme of the hero section? Okay, and yeah, this is how it looks like now. I think that's definitely better. I like it more. The first one was just a little bit too bland. So let's just have a look at this skill here, which ran into an issue, the page crow. So let's scroll up. Is it this one here? Yes, this one. So it couldn't read a document. Interesting, it was actually using the Playwright MCP, so the browser MCP for something. Oh, and then it ran into an issue here. And it says the agent tried to use the Playwright MCP browser evaluate tool, but an error occurred. The tool to perform an action as part of the workflow. And it says here the exact error message as well, which is page._evaluate function. I don't really know what that means. Let's see if the AI interpretation is going to be better. It says the step failed because the tool could not process the function it was given. The function was not in a suitable format. Okay. And yeah, then it gives you a little bit more detail. I'm not saying that this is much more helpful. It can be in certain situations. This one is probably not essential. So we would just need to check whether it actually read the product marketing context MDs, which let's see whether it did. Oh yeah, which it did. So we can see here it read those ones and they all seem proper documents. So that's good. So it read all of those. But yeah, you can even see exactly here the error that occurred. This is actually not super uncommon. I do like to use the browser whenever something is, when there's something it can't do via the CLI, but I actually like to use the Chrome browser extension much more than Playwright because you can see exactly what's going on. Besides that, it seems to have followed all the other steps, at least up until step 7. And let's quickly look. So there was another error with the Playwright, and then it actually, so this is probably a good example as well. It did not follow all of the steps. So it did everything up until 6. So if I really wanted to make sure this works exactly as intended, I would have to either now chat with Claude and say, hey, you didn't do, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 in the page crow skill. And then ideally also make sure that the skill MD itself is updated in a way that it will do this next time. And that's, again, the same with all of those skills that haven't fully been completed. Okay, so the last thing is, do we want to just approve? So now it gives us a little SEO score here from this SEO audit and a crow analysis with the top issues. So for now, we don't mind. We just wanted to approve and deploy for now. And as you can see, this one here, so this one works, as I mentioned, slightly differently. So the sub agent did send a message to the main agent, telling it, oh, I completed the crow successfully. But we can see here in the individual skill overlay that it only partially completed it. So the main orchestrating skill will only appear red or incomplete if it wasn't done at all. So here the revision now, for example, right, is incomplete because we just say deploy it. We didn't actually revise it. Okay, and now there's an issue. The deployment didn't work. And let's see what's going on. So deployment to Netlify failed. Deployment went to existing E-Pulsive. That's my company, E-Pulsive project instead of creating a new one. Ooh, that's bad. So yeah, I saw this very easily from here. Now it corrected it, as you can see. And as you can see from here as well, it restored it, okay, and then deployed it to a new website. Great. So let's have a quick look at this one in a second. So just for you to know, the last steps here are the post-deploy crow verification and the final report. So I'll actually just let this finish, and then we're done. So it just completed the orchestrating skill. As you can see, everything has been ticked off except for the revision part, which again we skipped, so that's fine. Again, a couple of things to notice. Those skills haven't been followed by the script, so a couple of things have been skipped. And as I mentioned, you should now, if you want to invoke the skill again and again, make sure, well, find out why those steps were skipped, and how to make sure that next time it doesn't. So that's a good, way to learn how to improve your workflows. I'm a non-technical business owner who built this without any developers, and I used the outcome of this skill and of other skills to restructure my entire business. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the system, including a completely new website, a custom booking and payment system, as well as a CRM. So in short, the website qualifies leads before they reach the booking page to teach the meta algorithm our target audience. The chatbot and voice agent book sessions, they take payments, and then every piece of data feeds into one dashboard. So my team and I can see exactly what's working and what's not. I'm talking all communications related data like emails, WhatsApp, Instagram DMs, all financial data, all marketing related data, for example, Instagram followers, engagement, influencer performance, also Google Analytics and Google Ads, Metapixel and Meta Ads, as well as our SEO score and website visitor behavior. So having all that data in one place really helps us to make hyper-focused, data-driven decisions. That video is coming soon, so follow if you don't want to miss it. Now, this is my very first YouTube video, so feel free to show your support by commenting what you think of AgentFlow and what type of video you prefer to see and how handsome and funny you think I am. See you next time.